In a bid to tackle rising energy bills, the Business Secretary has written a letter to North Sea oil and gas companies, pressurising them to invest profits into speeding up domestic energy productions, right? Let's go to Liam Halligan on this, GB News business editor and economics editor on this one. Liam, where do we begin? If I was a North Sea oil and gas company, I'd be a bit confused. One minute they're the enemy and they have to cut their production and they don't want them drilling any more wells. And now everybody's saying, no, hold on, give us more.
Indeed, the war in Ukraine has changed perceptions greatly, Eamon. A lot of realpolitik is coming into the government's views on energy security. It was only last autumn at the COP26 summit in Glasgow that ministers were boasting about the fact that North Sea oil and gas production is down, and it is down by about a half since the year 2000. But now the oil and gas companies operating in the North Sea are being encouraged to channel money into developing new fields. What's about to happen this coming week, those big North Sea oil and gas companies are going to declare their profits, and the oil majors are going to be making lots and lots of money because fuel prices are up so much because of that war in Ukraine. So what the Business Secretary, Kwasi Kwarteng, is trying to do is to get ahead of that by saying to these oil and gas companies, you need to invest these profits in more production to enhance our energy security so we don't have to rely on oil and gas from overseas so much. So we can bring those fuel prices down, those whacking great household utility bills down. The Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, of course, has gone even further. He's reversed his previous position and said he may even impose a windfall tax on these big oil and gas companies if they don't invest that money into higher production rather than just giving it away to shareholders in dividends. That is, as I say, a complete reversal of what he said just a few weeks ago. It's also a policy that Labour has been proposing for many months.
Liam, how do you see, the overall picture? We move from energy supplies to just the business of the Bank of England Monetary Policy Committee. And the prediction is they are once again very shortly going to hike interest rates to the highest level for 13 years.
I do think interest rates will go up. I think interest rates will have to go up more than they would have done because the Bank of England's been so slow to recognise that there is a lot of inflation in the system. They'll try and blame it on the war in Ukraine, but already before Russia invaded Ukraine on February the 24th, inflation in this country was already at a 30-year high. Inflation in America was already at a 30-year high. Cost of living going up very strongly. I think what's going to happen now is, as well as fuel, which we've been focused on since the war in Ukraine, food prices are really going to come into the public consciousness and into the political debate. Finally, because many people know that food prices have been going up sharply in recent months. And again, the war in Ukraine has made that worse. Ukraine's one of the world's major chicken exporters, believe it or not. And that's why the price of chicken is going up in the shops. Russia and Belarus, its ally, they're one of the world's biggest fertilizer exporters. And that's why, as every arable farmer watching this will know, that fertilizer prices in this country as well have gone up from about 250 quid a tonne to up to £1,000 a tonne. That means farmers are sowing less. They're trying to get away with less fertilizer on their land. Yields will be down. And this is the really difficult thing to stomach, Eamon. Just when we should be growing more of our own food, just when we should be focused on energy and food security to get the prices of both those things down in the shop, we're actually going to be growing less food this year, which means high prices are likely to continue into the future. It's not a good news story. It's a very, very difficult story. That's why, for me, the fact that Westminster seems so fixated on, Partygate and ministerial scandal and so on. Meanwhile, big swathes of the country are really worried about how they're going to feed their families. So I think it's up to us, GB News, other journalists, to continue to focus on these bread and butter issues. Because this food price inflation is going to get a lot worse, Eamon, I'm afraid, before it gets better.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.